This is the Milwaukee Tool M18 FUEL Gen 3 1/4-inch impact driver. It's powerful, it's fast, it has tons of torque. For 99% of you, it gets the job done 100% of the time. But for 1% of you, it fails. This impact driver has a flaw that could cause catastrophic damage. And for that 1%, we have some news for you. We're going to tell you what you need to do to fix that problem that affects 1% of users. Right after this message from our sponsor, VCG Construction. Head on over to our merch store where you can get hats, hoodies, t-shirts, tech shirts. Link will be down below. The specifications of this impact are stellar, top of the line, best in the industry. This impact driver puts out 2,000 inch-pounds of torque. It has a max RPM of 3,600. Impacts per minute is 4,300. It's got a 4-mode drive control. Its length is 4.59 inches and its weight is 2.2 pounds. There is one other specification about this impact driver, and it is literally called single hand bit insertion. You pop it into your collet and it's inserted. And for the most part, for 99% of people, it stays put. You effortlessly drive your screws or you drill your holes. But for some of you that use this impact driver to do certain tasks, like drill blind holes, for instance, you could have a problem. You fall into the 1%. Now, where do I come up with this 1% figure? Milwaukee Tool told us that the use case scenario was in drilling blind holes into wood, or drilling blind holes, period, where the bit might see resistance when you're trying to retrieve it or pull out of the material. So you would have the problem when drilling with larger diameter spattle bits here into wood, or drill into masonry, blindly into masonry with your impact driver. There was two problems. That blind hole pull-out game, we're going to call it the blind hole pull-out game. The other problem was not just blind hole. Anyone could experience this problem. Matter of fact, one of Milwaukee's own experienced that problem when they came here to demonstrate their new and now defunct matrix carbide line of driver bits. What happened? The product manager inserted their driver bit into their impact driver and went to proceed to do their work, and their driver bit popped out. So there was two problems with the impact driver. There was two problems with their collet design, their one-handed bit insertion and release. The design was flawed. You could experience, 1% of people were experiencing those two problems with their impact driver. We brought that to light over and over and over again to Milwaukee Tool. And they decided to do something about it. They did the research, they took their time. They've, according to Milwaukee Tool, have fixed the problem. And today, we're going to see if it's indeed fixed. And if it is fixed, we're going to show you how they fixed it. And all the answers to the problem are in this box. I'm interested to see what they've done and how they've done it. Not much fanfare. Identical. We did speak to a product manager over at Milwaukee Tool about the issue. A couple of their solutions to fix the retention problem at first was to make the Gen 3 impact driver less powerful and not as fast. To maintain its power and speed, the other solution was to make the tool bigger. So they could either detune the tool so it wasn't the most powerful impact driver on the market, or make it bigger to handle all that power, and then it wouldn't be the most compact. Milwaukee Tool said no. They wanted the perfect storm of an impact driver. They wanted it to be the most powerful. They wanted it to be the most compact. But they also wanted it to retain its driver bits and drill bits for 100% of people instead of 99% of people, which is commendable. Listen, they had a problem that was only affecting, according to Milwaukee Tool, 1% of their users, and they still went through the R&D to keep it as compact and as powerful, but still retain its bit. It's pretty awesome. It says a lot about the company. It really does care about its users. Let me know down below in the comments section, have you had a problem retaining your driver or drill bits with your Gen 3 impact driver? We want to know. Leave it in the comments section below. We have an 8 amp hour battery on the tool. We have it on top speed. You'll see we still have 4 modes, 1, 2, 3, and then self-tapping mode here. I mean, fit and finish looks fine. I really don't see much of a difference. I know what you all came for. I guess we should get to it. I know what 1% of you came here for. The other 99%, you just came to see my handsome face, because according to Milwaukee, this doesn't affect you. All right, so we have our one-handed bit insertion. I mean, it feels good. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Feels no different than this one here. It's retaining its bit. Let's see how it does. Looks like no problem driving screws, that's for certain. Let's put a couple 3-inch drywall screws. And if you're an old timer, you haven't adopted an impact driver yet, you don't know what you're missing. Literally, it is one of the most effortless ways of driving fasteners, whether it be smaller screws or even larger lag fasteners. It's also effortless when drilling holes, especially larger diameter holes. You don't get all that torque or that kickback like when using a drill driver. This is really an awesome tool. Let me show you. What we have here is a 1-inch spade bit. I'm gonna pop it in here with one hand. Insertion felt great. Let's see if there's any collet wobble. No different than any other impact driver. And this is the other thing. A lot of people talk about that. Oh, collet wobble or chuck wobble. I don't understand. Like, you know, minimal wobble in a chuck or a collet, it's nothing to write home about. It's not like I'm starting out like 5 feet away and trying to hit my mark. You place your bit on the workpiece and then start your drill. Like, I just don't understand. Like, if it's terrible, that's one thing, but you know, I don't know. Leave it down below. Maybe Norm Abrams, all you Norm Abrams in the comment section will educate me on why. I mean, look, I'd rather have less collet wobble or chuck wobble than more. I'm with you. Like, but people are just bizarre with it. I mean, you know, whatever. To each his own. I apologize. Drilling with an impact driver for these 1-inch bits, effortless and fast. We can duplicate the problem over and over and over again when using paddle bits blindly into wood. The problem wasn't going in, it was always coming out. When we were trying to retrieve our bit, didn't matter how gently we pulled back, how aggressively we pulled back, how slowly we actuated the trigger, how quickly, we would always lose our bit. When we would be switching in and out with different driver and drill bits, we would pop out a drill bit or a driver bit, pop in a different drill or driver bit, and what would happen is we would go to work with our tool and the driver bit wouldn't be retained. So we can get it to happen nearly 100% of the time when drilling blind holes. A good percentage of the time, though, when we would be switching from driver bit to drill bit or drill bit to drill bit or driver bit to driver bit, about 50% of the time we would insert our bit and then move to a workpiece. Our driver bit would get thrown. Or maybe we were working up overhead and we'd come down, the tool would release its bit, which became a hazard. And at least 1% of you complained about these hazardous conditions. So Milwaukee went ahead and said that they made revisions to this tool so that it would retain its bit properly. The first test it seems to be doing a good job. Let's drill a couple more. We also have a 1-inch double flute auger style bit. This is made by Milwaukee Tool. This is their auger bit. Now, if I was to do that with a drill driver or hammer drill, I probably would have to put the handle on the tool. You'd get a whole bunch of torque kickback. Do you see how effortless that was? That was a one-handed operation. It's awesome. Pretty awesome. It seems as though Milwaukee Tool has taken the most powerful impact driver on the market and improved it to the point where we can now call this the perfect, the best, the most impressive impact driver on the market. A lot of you at this point are asking, how did they do it? What Milwaukee told us was they altered spring pressure, I believe, within this collet, and they added a second ball bearing to increase, so double the amount of retention power in the collet. Some of you might be wondering what that looks like or what we're talking about. We've actually pulled this impact driver apart numerous times, and you can see on the interior you have 50% less ball bearings in this unit compared to the brand new unit. You have a single ball bearing in this collet retaining its bit. They've added a second ball bearing. This is the most powerful impact driver in the world. They decided to give it 100% more ball bearings, double the amount of holding power. Thanks, Milwaukee Tool. And if you like having double the amount of holding power and 2 balls instead of 1, make sure you smash the like button. Do you feel more confident in using Milwaukee Tool's Gen 3 impact driver now that you know they've made the necessary repairs? Leave it down below. I also want to mention, if you are part of the 1% that has been experiencing this issue with your impact driver, you're going to want to dial 1-800-SAWDUST and explain to Milwaukee Tool what's been happening, or you can go on to MilwaukeeTool.com. You go to their e-repair center, file a complaint. What they will do is they will assess your problem and determine whether you need the repair made, whether they're replacing. I don't know what they're doing. But it's good to know that Milwaukee Tool has your back. With that, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you all on the next one. Video's over, but I know you want more. So this is how you're going to get it. First thing you need to do is pretend you're this guy. And you're here at the birthplace of freedom. Now ring that bell like it's 1776 and let all notifications through. What? You're not subscribed yet? Well, smash this button here. After that, watch this video here, here, and maybe over here. See you later.